Now, there is a certain type of individual who, upon viewing one of my videos or reading something that I've written, will get the distinct impression that I'm up to something. And that's why this video is about how to build the kingdom. Because my intention behind everything that I create is to construct the kingdom. Now, before I go into the details, I want to give a little background on me and my reason for this intention. I like stories, particularly stories that have a group of warriors who accomplish amazing and even impossible feats together, or a group of wizards who come together and raise the next generation of promising young individuals while being just generally interesting. Or a group of ruling wills who pools their resources in order to administer justice upon the land. But what I really like is when there's a story that brings all three of these elements together. When you get a warrior, a wizard, and a will working together towards an outcome, there's something that's always captured me here. And my favorite type of story is when you get a plethora of uniquely talented warriors and wizards and wills all working towards the same end. An end that is so big that none of them could accomplish it by themselves. Now, although I like these stories, my secret desire has been to be one of these characters. Now, I don't actually want to be in one of these stories or be one of these individuals. I want to be my own unique character in my own unique story. And this motivation has driven me to look for a place that can train me to be one of these epic individuals. And this is what I've found. Nothing. Now, there are places that will teach us how to fit in the world as it already is, but that is very different from creating our own unique character and our own unique story that is truly legendary. So, being a defiant individual who's also an innovator, I've taken it upon myself to build such a location, which brings us back to how to build the kingdom. My intention requires constructing three separate elements. The first is the three orders, the second, the 7 battalions, and the third, the 7 uniques. And I'll go into each in detail, explain how they work together, and how they construct the kingdom. We'll start with the 3 orders. The 3 orders are the external element of the kingdom. They hold everything together. The first order is the subduing order. Here are where the warriors gather, the men and women who are gifted in the creation of action. They have the determination to get the job done because they're experts in using their body. Alongside the subduing order of warriors, we have the filling order. And inside the filling order is where the wizards gather, the men and women who are gifted in the creation of emotion, who can feel the living energies in the world around them because they're experts in the use of the heart. Now, alongside the subduing order and filling order, we have the final order, the ruling order. And here is where the ruling wills will gather, those who understand the power of imagery and using thoughts to move creation towards an enjoyable end, because they're skilled and experts in the use of the mind. So although the kingdom is very cool in having these differing groups of individuals, the underlying intention is to give us an external representation of our internal world. When we see awesome warriors and wizards and wills doing their thing out in the world, our personal mind, heart, and body get inspired by that. They want to then raise their own level of greatness to match or even surpass in a unique way what they see out in the world. Because the purpose of being human is to bring something from the spiritual world and then use our mind, heart, and body to mentally, emotionally, and physically express it out into creation. So the kingdom helps us do this. The kingdom will develop our talents mentally, emotionally, and physically, and help us craft our own unique character and story to succeed at being human. So, in summary, the three orders are as follows: the subduing order of warriors, the filling order of wizards, and finally the ruling order of wills. And this is the outer component of the kingdom. We need the orders to keep training up generations of skilled thinkers, feelers, and doers. But if you put those people together, they need something to do. What are they going to do with all this creative talent that they have? That's what brings us to the 7 battalions. The 7 battalions are where mature creators gather together in an area of life that they're passionate about and that they want to leave a lasting impact. So I'll list them here, and then we'll look at how they work with the 3 orders. We have the Media Battalion, the Healthcare Battalion, the Government Battalion, the Military Battalion, the Religion Battalion, the Education Battalion, and the Business Battalion. Now, in looking at these 7 battalions, pretty quickly we realize that these are the 7 pillars of human civilization. Wherever human beings gather together, we build these 7 things, and they get very big and require a lot of people with unique talents and abilities to maintain and continue to innovate them. The kingdom is designed to first raise up skilled creators and then group them together in the arena of human civilization that they're talented and passionate about. So to see how this works, I've made a very simple diagram, and it's of course a castle, because if we're going to create the kingdom, we have to have a castle, because castles are just cool. And this is a bird's eye view of a castle. Now, like any good castle, there are 4 walls to the kingdom. The first is the ruling order, the second is the filling order, and the third is the subduing order. But there's another wall here. There's another supporting structure that holds up the kingdom. Now, one of the mistakes we all make as inexperienced creators when we start developing our subduing, filling, and ruling talents is we try to practice them on other people. But if you try to subdue, fill, and rule people, you get rebellion and anarchy and war, because we're not supposed to be filling, subduing, and ruling other people. We're supposed to be filling, ruling, and subduing creation. And if we look around, we realize that creation generally lets us do this. It lets us build on top of it. It lets us dig into it and gather minerals. It offers very little resistance to our attempts to develop our skills as subduing, filling, and ruling creators. So the kingdom also is designed to craft a bond between these 3 orders and the material world, because that's what we need as creators. Now, inside these 4 walls of the kingdom, this is where the 7 battalions lie. Here's where the mature creators gather together with others who are interested in maybe healthcare or the military or business, and they create amazing things that they then deliver out to human civilization. Now, of course, if we look at this diagram, it instantly becomes clear, well, which of the 7 is at the center? And maybe more importantly, who is that person there in the middle who's obviously the most important person in the whole kingdom? Well, that of course would be me. Or you, or anybody else who happens to be in the kingdom, because the kingdom is designed to give every member a self-centered perspective. Now, why would we do this? Isn't self-centeredness bad? We all have this tendency to see ourselves as the central being in the entire world. Now, why do we have this perception? Well, of course, because there is one person who is rightfully to hold this perception, and that would be God, because He is at the center of the world. He created it all. It's all about Him. So since we're made in His likeness, we aspire to grow into His perception of life, which is self-centered. So the kingdom is designed to help us each individually grow into a more mature, self-centered perspective, where all 6 battalions around us are supporting our battalion And the subduing, filling, and ruling order are raising up the next generation of talented individuals to help us individually achieve our ambition. And even creation is partnering with us. So everything serves us, which sounds really great until you realize that at the center, all things now look and depend upon us. So as we mature, we grow into a self-centered perspective that allows us to give to the world, to partner with this world, and to truly manifest wondrous things. So the kingdom is held together by the three orders, training and expanding our mental, emotional, and physical capabilities. And then the 7 battalions inside the kingdom give us a way to deliver true value, true wondrous creations back to human civilization. But there's still something missing here. Whenever there's a cool club or an elite group, they have something that distinguishes them. Maybe it's the suit of armor or the uniform. Maybe it's a handshake or a code word. There has to be a way to know who's in, and that same element has to be what binds the people that are in together. And that's what brings us to the 7 uniques. The 7 uniques are a plan, a lifelong plan that each person in the kingdom will be pursuing to achieve true legendary status. So I'm going to list them here, and then we'll look at how they work together to build us into that amazing epic character who pursues the wondrous story as the hero. First, we have the unique body. Second, the unique talent. Third, the unique business. Fourth, the unique family. Fifth, the unique team. Sixth, the unique leader. And finally, the unique legacy. These are the 7 creations that each member of the kingdom will form over the course of their lifetime. Now, to explain this a little bit more clearly, we'll put this into a diagram. Now, the first thing to notice here is that the 7 creations are listed 1 through 7 because they're each pursued individually. These are truly challenging creations that in many cases will take years of work to accomplish. Now, each creation must have a specific outcome. So for the first creation, if we just say, oh, my outcome is to be healthy. Well, how do you know when you're healthy? You can't really measure that. So it needs to be a measurable outcome, like I'm going to run a mile in 7 minutes, or I'm going to climb this specific mountain. Whatever it is, it needs to be specific and measurable. Then we need to prescribe a time. Maybe it's 6 months we think it'll take us, maybe a year, maybe 3 years, who knows? We have to frame it within time because that's how this world works. And lastly, we need to give it a name because we tend to name things that are important. I mean, we name our pets, we name our children, we even name ourselves. Why? Because names in this material world have power. They give something a realness, a tangibility that has influence. So if we're going to be spending a significant portion of our energy accomplishing these 7 creations, we better name them. So that's why names are included. Now, when would be a good time to start the 7 uniques? Well, generally now's pretty good to get rolling. Now, when would this happen to come to completion? Well, ideally, you want to aim at about 100 years old or more, because the purpose of the 7 uniques is to drive us on a legendary lifelong pursuit of greatness. And that would probably be at 100 years of age or more. Now, is this going to guarantee we live that long? Of course not. But our mind, heart, body will do everything they can to make that happen if we have a truly inspiring story to pursue for all those years. Now, let's zoom in a little bit and see how this actually works. The first creation is always initially tricky because we already have a body, right? We can't actually create another one. So what's a unique body? Well, for example, if we were to say, well, my unique body is to have a 6-pack abs. Well, okay, but is that unique? Well, no, 6-pack abs has been done before and it'll be done again. What makes a unique body actually unique? Well, that requires shaping the body we have towards our legacy. We must craft the body that's been entrusted to us and make it purposefully designed to accomplish our legacy. When the beginning is aligned with the end, you have something exciting, you have something unique. And this is the framework we must establish within the 7 creations. The beginning must always be aimed at the end. And of course, the end better be unique, it better be awesome, better be exciting, or we're probably not going to do anything, are we? Of course not. Now, once we have the beginning and end in place, everything in between starts to make sense. When we have a unique body, it's excited, it has energy, it has defiance, it has determination, wants to do something. That brings us to the second unique creation, the unique talent. Now, each of us has a pool of potential talents, realistically probably in the hundreds, but a mature creator picks one talent to cultivate over the entire expanse of their life, and that's what will make them distinguished in the eyes of the world. Once that talent is developed to a true expert level, it must be shaped into the third creation, a unique business, to make that talent tangible to people and deliver value into their lives in a financial means. It's an important step to being relevant in our story. Once we have the resources of a business in place, we're ready to craft a family. Now again, here we have a challenging situation because we already have a family. Are we supposed to make a new one? What do we do with the old one? Just like the unique body, the unique family must be crafted towards the legacy. So for example, a unique family would be one where each person in our personal family has a purpose, a distinct and meaningful purpose to fulfill our personal legacy. Every person in our family knows their role in accomplishing our legacy, and we know our role in accomplishing their legacy. That's a unique family, and it's extremely challenging to achieve this. Doing so without the first 3 already completed is very difficult, if not impossible. Now, once we're leading and shaping and moving our family towards our legacy, other individuals who are truly talented will recognize us and say, hey, this person's going somewhere. I want to be part of whatever they're doing. So we start building a team of individuals, others who have complementary expertise who we need in our world to achieve our legacy. And the purpose of this team of unique individuals is to lift us up individually as a leader. Now again, there are many types of leaders. A classic example is someone who says, well, I'm not a leader, I'm a behind the scenes type of person. Behind the scenes. And what would you be doing behind the scenes? Well, of course, influencing everything. That's truly leadership. And we must craft ourselves into a unique leader. Why? Because only a leader can generate the influence over the material world to bring about a truly lasting legacy, something that's going to impact the world for generations to come. Which is why each of the 7 uniques builds upon the previous, culminating in the legacy we desire to leave upon the earth. Now that we've zoomed in and see how 1 through 7 work together, let's step back and look at exactly what this is. Now, if we have, over the course of a lifetime, build a unique body, a unique talent, a unique business, a unique family, a unique team, a unique leadership position, and a unique legacy, that's cool, right? I mean, that's fun. That's amazing. That's a grand story. But exactly what is this? What is this really all for? And the answer is the construction and manifestation of a unique world, a world that is all our own, that we built ourselves. Now, why do we have this drive? Well, what is the first thing we're aware that God did? Well, He constructed a unique world, this universe that we're living in. So since we're made in His likeness, guess what our first priority is as a human being? And the kingdom is designed to aid us in achieving this end, to place us at the center of a creative arena, where we're the most important individual in the most important battalion amidst the filling and subduing and ruling order, who are providing us with these expert level creators, forging a bond with the material world so that we can attain our ambitious intentions. So how do we build the kingdom? We construct the 3 orders of warriors, wizards, and wills to continually expand our creative ability. We construct the 7 battalions to give us a way to deliver value back into human civilization in a tangible way. And we all commit to the 7 uniques to show that we're different and to bind ourselves together. Because everybody in the kingdom is about building themselves into a legendary character, fulfilling an epic quest over the course of their lifetime to truly be unique. Because when we step back and look at the ultimate intention of the kingdom is for creators who want to manifest their own unique world. Now, in closing, I'd like to give something on a more personal note here. Although I like these epic stories that we have in our human culture, and I do enjoy them, there's always something that's really bothered me about them. And it circles around the main character. Most of the time, the main character starts off and they're kind of pathetic, right? They're kind of sad and they can't do anything very well. And then a crisis happens and they somehow develop their talents and abilities overnight and they become this amazing individual and they rise to save the day, and then the story ends. But what happens after the crisis is over? Well, of course we know what happens. The hero decays back into the state which they existed in at the beginning of the story. Now, it took me a while to figure out why this bothers me. And you know why? Because that's me. For years, I've been twiddling my thumbs with all this potential, waiting for a crisis, waiting for the signal for me to step up and be this great individual to save the day. But it's not coming. And even if it does come, and I rise to the occasion and become this great hero, I know what's going to happen in the end. Once the crisis passes, I will decay back into the pathetic being that, sadly, I am now. So the kingdom is my plan to develop myself into a being that doesn't need a crisis. Because I believe that the true challenge to being human is not survival. It's manifesting a unique world. Because if we're developing ourselves to that level where we can truly transform life and reshape it into an ambitious intention that is all our own, well, if a crisis comes up along the way, we'll just swat it. It'll be nothing. Because we're in the true pursuit of greatness, and these pitiful little survival moments where there's these horrible crises will be exposed for what they really are. A joke. So I want the kingdom because I want to be that hero who, sure, can step up at the moment of crisis and do what needs to be done. But I want to be ready for that now. I don't want to be twiddling my thumbs as a pathetic being and waiting for it. So the kingdom is my intention to build myself into a true legendary hero. If there happens to be others who would enjoy that type of life, and the kingdom helps them achieve that, well, for me, that'll just be a nice bonus.